This is what I get for leaving my yoga mat and yoga props out. Say hi, Yogi. Say hi to the YouTubes. Just say hi.
Hi, I'm Christina and welcome to my channel, ChriskaYoga. In today's video, I will be talking about how to transition from the beginner level to the intermediate level. Sometimes if you're a beginner at something, yoga specifically, you could feel potentially like you're stuck at that level. You don't know how to advance or progress, get better, or move on to the more challenging yoga poses. In this video, I'm going to talk about exactly how to do that. Hopefully it will help to give you some insight into how to progress throughout your yoga practice. Before we get started, if you aren't yet subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button down below the video for 2 free yoga classes every single week. It is completely free to subscribe. I would love to have you as a subscriber to join our community. Everyone is so nice and kind and welcoming, so I would love for you to join us. So let's get into these tips of how to progress from the beginner to the intermediate level in yoga. First and foremost, you need to understand that yoga levels are very subjective. Someone might look at a yoga pose or a yoga class in total as a whole and think that is absolutely beginner's level. The poses are very achievable for me. I definitely think this is the beginner's level in yoga. Then another person can look at the same class and think, this was so challenging. I've been practicing yoga for a while and I couldn't do some of the poses. I had to modify. I definitely think this was intermediate. So it's tough to say what one yoga teacher thinks is intermediate as opposed to what I think is intermediate. For instance, on YouTube, there are a lot of yoga for beginners classes. There are tons and tons of classes. I think almost every yoga teacher on YouTube has a yoga for beginners class, and they're all so different. I see a lot of yoga for beginners classes put out by very popular yoga teachers on YouTube. And for instance, just to pick out one particular pose, a lot of them put pigeon pose in their beginners classes. And personally, I would never do that. I think that pigeon pose is a very, very deep piriformis stretch, very deep hip opener, and I don't think it's appropriate for beginners, especially if you don't have props to modify. So personally, if I'm doing a beginner's level yoga class for my YouTube channel, or even in a classroom live, I would not put pigeon pose. But there are several yoga teachers putting out yoga for beginners classes with pigeon pose in their sequence, and not to mention they put pigeon pose at the beginning of the sequence before the body's even had time to warm up. So I mean, to each their own, and they have tons of amazing students and feedback that love their classes, which is great. But personally, I don't think I would call that beginners. So as I said, levels are extremely subjective, they're personal. So I'm just gonna put that out there as a disclaimer for you to understand. Another disclaimer I'm going to put out there is that I don't really like to think of my personal yoga practice, for instance, in the terms of levels. In my previous video that I spoke about yoga levels, I did classify myself and I did level my own personal practice. If you want to check that out, I'll leave all the links in the description box below this video. But I think that it is a little bit, I guess, more achievable to advance in your yoga practice if you think of it in terms of your body and breaking down the poses that you're looking to achieve. This requires a bit deeper of an understanding of yoga as a whole and of your body and the anatomy of your body. And there are, I mean, at all gyms and most yoga studios, I wouldn't say most, a lot of yoga studios, they have open level classes. So their classes need to be accessible for beginners to advanced yoga practitioners. As a yoga beginner, you should be able to take a open level class and do the same class as someone who has been practicing for years and years. So the idea is modifying to your own personal practice. And I think that people should be aware of the fact that this is the reality of an open level class, and they can definitely get benefit out of the open level class if you're a beginner, if you just modify the sequence to your own personal body and preference. So if you're looking to advance, I would say look at the poses that you're looking to advance to. Let's say you want to do handstand. For instance, I did a video with 8 poses that I think you should practice in order to achieve handstand, and that basically just breaks down what your body needs to do in handstand, that your body needs to be able to achieve in order to achieve handstand. Every pose is different. It's the same concept, you just need to break it down. Break it down into what your body needs to do in order to achieve that pose, because you're not going to be able to achieve it unless you prepare your body in the right way first. The next tip I'm going to share with you on how to progress in your yoga practice to the intermediate level is I suggest actually doing an intermediate level class. So if you're practicing on YouTube and you look up an intermediate level class, you have several options. You can follow the class and see if you can kind of keep up with it. If the poses don't feel right in your body, if you're feeling joint pain, if you're feeling too overly out of breath, like you don't have the stamina quite yet, then just slow it down. You have the power to modify your own yoga practice. That is the beauty of a yoga practice. It is yours. You have the power to modify the poses to your own personal body. Some poses are just not achievable for everyone. If you're feeling a gentle, dull, maybe not so gentle, but a dull pain in the middle of your muscle, then that is an okay pain to feel. That means that your muscle is stretching in the right way. If you're feeling a sharp pain in your joints, so by the knee, by the hip socket, by the ankle, the elbow, any of the joints in your body, if you're feeling a sharp pain there while you're in a yoga pose, you need to get out immediately. That's just a side note, side tip on injury prevention. You really want to steer clear of joint pain. But my point is that if you want to really progress to that intermediate level, or if you want to move forward in your yoga practice, in your yoga asana practice, then you need to try the harder classes. And again, while you're trying these classes, do not rush, because if you rush into a pose too fast before your muscles are flexible enough, before your joints are flexible enough and everything is working in the right way, you could cause injury. So if you do it too fast, if you rush, if you force those heels down towards the yoga mat in downward facing dog, if you force your body into pigeon pose, into that such a deep external rotation, and your body's not ready for that yet, you could cause some serious hip damage. So modify the class to your own personal body, to your body's capabilities at this time. You have the power to modify the class. Try it out for yourself along the lines of pacing. So if you're trying out an intermediate level class and it's too fast, if it's going at a bit of a faster pace for you, on YouTube, you can actually slow down the video. So there's a little dial at the bottom of every YouTube video. If you click it and go to, I think it's called speed, it usually says normal, it's at the normal speed. You can either speed it up or slow it down. Now, it might sound a bit different or funny, it might not sound like it's supposed to, but I mean, if you're looking to practice an intermediate level class, but the pacing is too fast, I think that's a great way to actually try it out. If you're in a live studio class and you're looking to slow down the pace, just skip some poses. It's not going to kill you if you don't make it through a full vinyasa. Let's say the teacher is instructing and she goes really fast. It's okay to just go from Ardha Uttanasana straight into downward facing dog. If you're not used to moving through a vinyasa yet at that speed, then just move on to the pose that you can achieve. Your yoga teacher will understand, especially if you tell her at the beginning of the class, I'm still at the beginner's level and I would like to advance my practice, which is why I'm taking this class. She or he will completely understand and they will likely help you get there. And the final tip that I'm going to share with you, which I kind of touched on a little bit earlier, is that consistency is key. Practicing regularly is the #1 factor in advancing from beginner's level to intermediate level, or advancing at anything. You just need to practice. You need to keep on practicing, because without that, you're not going to magically become better at anything without actually doing it. And understand that your body needs some time to gain that strength and that flexibility, and you need to just keep on practicing without forcing yourself and rushing into things that could cause injury. I hope that helped you in advancing your yoga practice and gave you some tips on how to do that. A lot of this video touched on the fact that you need to build a solid foundation for your yoga practice, and you need consistency in your yoga practice. I've shared this before in other videos, but I created a program called the Yoga Starter Kit. It is a 35-day transformational yoga program helping you to build a solid yoga foundation in order to have a long-lasting, regular, and consistent yoga practice. I feel very passionately about this program. I worked so hard on it, and I think that it could really benefit a lot of people. So if you are really looking to challenge yourself, move forward in your yoga practice, I definitely suggest giving this program a try. There are lots of bonuses that I'm going to be putting out along with that as well. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave any questions or comments you have in the comment section below this video. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to this channel for 2 free yoga classes every single week. It is free to subscribe. I would love for you to join us. For even more yoga from me, helpful yoga tips and advice, free and premium yoga resources, definitely check out my website, ChriskaYoga.com. And don't forget to also follow me over on Instagram at ChriskaYoga for daily yoga motivation, inspiration, tips, advice, behind the scenes of this channel, and so much more. So definitely head over to Instagram and follow me over there as well. All of the links are listed in the description box below this video. Thank you so much. See you next time.